Hare Krishna. We're just completing with two more questions from Prema Vinodini on chanting Hare Krishna and Kirtan. And the first one's an interesting one. I've not heard it before, that at preaching programs, uh, can't we chant other songs other than just chanting Hare Krishna all the time? Isn't it just too much that we're chanting Hare Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, and we're not chanting anything else? No, absolutely not. Preaching program means that for the most part they're first comers, or if it's a regular preaching program, then it's people who are being educated in Krishna consciousness and in the science of chanting Hare Krishna. So we want people to learn one mantra, or accept one mantra, learn one mantra, and then chant it. To start singing songs, they may be very relevant to us as devotees. But first of all, how will people understand what they mean? Second of all, do they have the adhikar, the qualification, to understand what it is that we're actually talking about? It's not really of relevance to them. In fact, we may be crossing the line into the area of committing offense to the holy name by preaching to people beyond their level of adhikar, or their level of qualification. So, Kalo Nasteva Nasteva Nasteva, just chant Hare Krishna. And if we're having some kind of cultural event where we're singing some song, although we didn't have cultural events so much during Srila Prabhupada's time, but all right, fine, that's one thing. But in terms of regular preaching programs, we want people to embrace the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And now that said, we want people to be able to understand the Maha Mantra, which is that we need to sing simple melodies and simple tunes, things that people can immediately pick up and follow, because when it becomes too difficult, once again, when it's tunes that devotees would sing amongst themselves, like songs that they would sing amongst themselves, then people get lost trying to figure out how they're supposed to follow the melody rather than being able to easily chant mantra. And Srila Prabhupada really kept it simple. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So there's no harm in just singing that tune to people so that they can easily understand it. And one reason that tune they'll connect with is because they probably saw the movie Hare, and that's where the Hare Krishna mantra was sung with that tune there. Okay, question number 2. And the second question is about how decorative or fancy can our chanting be with different elaborations and sort of, you know what I mean. Well, once again, this is not the type of thing that we did or would have done in Srila Prabhupada's presence. If we did, Prabhupada more or less probably shut it down. The question comes up, what happens 40 years later when Krishna consciousness movement has expanded and developed in certain ways? Is there room for that? Well, I would say yes, to a certain extent. As long as the mantra is not obscured, as long as people are able to respond, and as long as the overall effect is to encourage devotees to be absorbed in the holy name rather than in some kirtan show. And that shows in the quality of their japa. So if these things are there, then fine. If they're absent, then not. So it's always good to stay on the side of safety and just stay away from any excessively elaborate thing. On the other hand, if someone does cross the line, then and I think you have to make sure that these other parameters are properly kept, and if they are, then fine and good. It inspires devotees to chant, and if it glorifies Krishna nicely, and the devotee is expert in doing that balance, then Hare Krishna.